Hello, everyone. My name is Olivia. I'm 47 years old, and this is one of the most unbelievable stories I've ever experienced. Even now, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, but I can't stop replaying the events in my mind.
Occasionally, during pregnancy, women may notice a small amount of hair appearing on their bellies, likely due to hormonal changes. At a routine prenatal visit, a partner inquired if the fetus's hair was emerging through the skin. While teaching a college-level health education course, I was astonished by the misconceptions students had. Some questioned why injecting household bleach into veins couldn't cure HIV, while others wondered why alcoholics weren't immune to diseases, since alcohol is a disinfectant. I'm not a medical professional, but I once had a coworker who didn't realize she had a urethra. She thought it was something exclusive to men. I had to gently inform her that she indeed had one. Did you consume anything this morning before your fasting blood test? No, just some tea with honey and a glass of orange juice. A couple was puzzled about their pregnancy since they believed they were taking birth control pills. It turned out the man had been the one taking the pills. My father has no understanding of how the human body functions. When I told him I worked in a tissue laboratory, he asked, "Oh, are you designing new Kleenex?" A pregnant woman who was on the pill questioned why she became pregnant. It turned out that she and her boyfriend alternated taking the pills daily, thinking they were sharing the responsibility. Another time, a woman... Male patients at my audiology clinic have told me they have problems with their fallopian tubes. While I could correct them, I usually assume they're referring to issues with their eustachian tubes. As a phlebotomist, I've had numerous patients insist that blood is blue until it comes into contact with air. How are you feeling today? Not well. I have a cough that feels like an emotional sensation in my throat and chest, and it bothers me deeply. It turned out to be bacterial pneumonia, and their roommate was a self-proclaimed spiritual healer in the neighborhood. I'm a pharmacist, and once a patient called to complain that their medication was no longer effective because they had stopped taking it. There's a misconception that the sole reason to eat healthy is to control weight, and that alcohol only becomes harmful if someone is an alcoholic. I once had to explain to a worried parent that the bump on their child's foot they were concerned about was simply an ankle. "What do you mean I can't eat an entire fruitcake? Isn't fruit healthy?" asked a type 2 diabetic with a blood sugar reading of 450 milligrams per deciliter. Some holistic practitioners have convinced people that drinking water with added bleach can cure chronic illnesses. These doses are strong enough to discolor clothing, yet people drink it through straws. What's worse is that convincing them otherwise is nearly impossible. As an ER nurse practitioner, I had a pregnant patient's granddaughter ask me if dyeing her hair would also dye her baby's hair. That moment made my day. Working in mental health, I encountered a client who was worried that if their relative underwent a heart transplant, they might lose their memories or ability to love them. Their reasoning was that emotions like love reside in the heart. I asked an older patient to demonstrate how she administered her insulin. She said she needed an orange. Curious, I asked why. She explained that she would draw insulin into the syringe, inject it into the orange, and then eat the fruit, just as her doctor had shown her. A father was in a state of panic because his newborn baby didn't have teeth. I've lost count of how many men have confidently claimed to me that they had hysterectomies. When I suggest they might mean an appendectomy, they insist it was definitely a hysterectomy. I'm not a medical professional, but my sister works in a hospital. No, you don't need to visit the emergency room for a paper cut. You're not at risk of bleeding to death. As a dentist, I'm constantly frustrated by parents who dismiss their child's tooth decay, saying they're just baby teeth. Early loss of these teeth causes various complications beyond the pain and trauma. On top of that, I often need to explain that the adult molars that come in around age 6 are permanent and meant to last a lifetime. Parents are usually clueless about this. A mother once asked if her baby's soft spot was like a whale's blowhole and could be used for breathing. Apparently, her own mom had told her this. I used to take retinal photographs to check for diabetic retinopathy. While scheduling appointments, patients occasionally said, "Oh, I just saw the proctologist." No, sir, these are photos of your retina, not rectal images. A pregnant woman during an ultrasound said, "My baby loves Doritos." As I performed the scan, I remarked, "Look, the baby is opening its mouth." She exclaimed, "Oh my gosh, it's eating Doritos. I just ate Doritos." Some individuals believe that interrupting a seizure to inform us they're having one will get them a prescription for benzodiazepines. Sorry, but no. A coworker in her 30s, married with children, once asked me if it was permissible to use tampons before marriage. She genuinely had no understanding of her own body. A baby was born face down, and the father panicked, thinking his child had been born without a face. We had a good laugh about it afterward. After I scheduled breast reduction surgery, my husband joined me for the pre-op consultation. When the doctor explained that my nipples would be removed during the procedure, my husband asked where they planned to get replacements. It's been 12 years and we still joke about the mythical nipple locker. After pricking a diabetic patient's finger for a blood test, I handed him a tissue to wipe the drops of blood. He gave me a baffled look and said, "You don't know much, do you?" He then licked the blood from his finger and spent 5 minutes lecturing me. He believed that, as a diabetic, he needed to conserve all his blood and that drinking it would return it to his bloodstream.